Hello and welcome to News on the Hour. The headlines. The Church of Nigeria announces election of an archbishop, translation of bishops, and election of new bishops. The Diocese of Elisha, Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, holds her Mothers' Union mid-year Thanksgiving for the year 2022. The Mothers' Union and Women's Guild of the Asokoro Archdeaconry in Abuja Diocese holds her 11th Annual Women's Conference at St. James Anglican Church, Asokoro, Abuja, with the theme, Knowing Christ, the Goal of a Christian Woman. Now to the stories in details. The Primate of all Nigeria Anglican Communion, Most Reverend Dr. Henry Ndukuba, has announced the election of new Archbishop, translation of bishops, and election of new bishops in the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion. He made this announcement after a successful Episcopal Synod held at the Archbishop Fani Memorial Cathedral Church, Ikeja, Lagos. Other processes and training will follow to confirm the new bishop's election.
For Ekiti Diocese, we translated the Right Reverend Andrew Olushola Ajayi will translate from Ekiti Kwara to Ekiti Diocese. For the Diocese of Otukbo, we have been led to elect the Venerable Benjamin Ewuchola, the Chief Protocol Officer of the Church of Nigeria, the Warden of St. Matthias House, the National Secretariat of the Church of Nigeria, to be the new Bishop of the Diocese of Otukbo. For Niger Delta Diocese, we have elected the Right Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Oko Jaja, who will be translating from the Diocese of Niger Delta West to the Diocese of Niger Delta. We have also elected for the Diocese of Ibadan North the Right Reverend Dr. Williams O. Aladekube. He will be translating from the Diocese of Oyo to the Diocese of Ibadan North. For Isikwato Umunnochi Diocese, we have elected Reverend Canon Prince Christian Anyim, a priest in Aba Diocese, has been elected as the new Bishop of Isikwato Umunnochi Diocese. For the Diocese of Ilaje, we have elected Very Reverend Dr. Isaac Adeyemi Adeniji. The Very Reverend Dr. Isaac Adeyemi Adeniji is the Provost of St. Peter's Cathedral Church, Ake, Abeokuta. And so he has been elected as the new Bishop of Ilaje. For the Diocese of Ekiti West, we have elected the Right Reverend Dr. Cornelius O. Adagbada. Adagbada will be translating to the Diocese of Ekiti West. And for Ibadan Province, we have elected the Right Reverend Abiodun Taiwo Alaoye as the new Archbishop of Ibadan Province. we want to request of the church and all faithful people of God to keep these our fathers in prayers.
Well, congratulations to the clergymen. Moving on, Christians have been urged to endeavor to live their lives every day to please the Lord as a new creation wherever they find themselves, and be determined to be faithful children of God in spite of challenges that come their way. In his weekly meditation and admonition to Christians, the Bishop of Remo Diocese, Most Reverend Olushinov, made this known, saying it is not enough for Christians to be saved, but Christians must make every effort to make it in their journey here on earth by living a life that is pleasing to God.
It is not enough to be saved. Christians must endeavor to live their lives every day to please the Lord as new creation, wherever He is, whether in politics, in business, in education, or in any other sphere of life. Hence, Paul's further admonition to the Philippians in Philippians chapter 2 verse 12, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, so that their salvation is not lost along the journey of life. Brothers and sisters in the Lord, how are you faring in your Christian journey now? The ultimate is that you must not miss it at the end of your journey here on earth. It is my prayer for you this new week, wherever you go, that you will reflect the glory of God. Indeed, if the good work of salvation has begun in your life, brothers and sisters, determine to be a faithful child of God, no matter the challenges that come your way.
The Right Reverend Godwin Ade Robinson, Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of Lafayette, Nasarawa State, has charged the Christian Association of Nigeria, Acnn, Nasarawa North Central Zone Chapter, to understand how to remain within the will of God if they must survive at a precarious time like this. The admonition was given during the just concluded annual convention of the Christian body held at St. Peter's Anglican Church, Akwanga. The bishop, who was the guest speaker, drew attention to time, saying that the first day, according to the story of creation, was not measured according to the time and season, but according to the Lord's time. He stressed further that time in this context is limited, unlike God's own time, which is limitless. He said God has His own program, and as a matter of fact, Christians should know that their actions today affect their tomorrow, urging them to learn to live according to the will of God. The program also featured a award presentation, of which the bishop was also one of those honored. The Nasarawa North Senatorial Zone comprises of Akwanga, Nasarawa Egon, and Wamba local governments. The chairman of the zone, in his vote of thanks, thanked the bishop for accepting both the invitation to minister and also the award, as the program ended in praise. The Diocese of Elisha Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion held a Mothers Union Media Thanksgiving. The president of Women's Organization, Barrister Mrs. Harriet Ashaju, led a large number of women at the Thanksgiving service held at the Anglican Church of the Resurrection, Oke Ayao Olomi Lagbara, Elisha. The service of Holy Eucharist was led by the vicar of the church, Venerable Amos Adeniji, the Archdeacon of Isona Archdeaconry. Venerable Fademi consecrated the elements while preaching in the service. The Lord Bishop of Elisha Diocese and Bishop Theologian of the Church of Nigeria, Right Reverend Professor Dapo Ashaju, titled his sermon, The Benefits of Godly Mothers. The bishop charged mothers to be submissive to their husbands and also influence their children to do good, like Anna did when she dedicated her son to the Lord. Not less than 20 women were enrolled into the Mothers Union by the Lord Bishop. The president of Women's Organization, Barrister Mrs. Harriet Sheun Ashaju, Chief Mrs. Deborah Farah Yibi, and Chief Mrs. Ajakaye all prayed for the newly enrolled Mothers Union members. They invited couples Mr. and Mrs. Iyola Babatunde and Mr. and Mrs. Olajide Bukola Samuel and Mr. and Mrs. Abiodun Oyedun were honored in the service. The Mothers Union and Women's Guild of the Asokoro Archdeaconry has held our 11th annual Women's Conference at St. James Anglican Church, Asokoro, Abuja, with the theme, Knowing Christ, the Goal of a Christian Woman, taken from Philippians 3 verse 10. Our correspondent Caroline Achumba was there for Acnn TV News. The report.
The 11th annual Women Conference of the Mothers Union in propagating the 11th annual Women Conference of the Mothers Union and Women's Guild of Asokoro Archdeaconry brought women from their different parishes on the need to equip themselves spiritually and chart the way forward in propagating the gospel of Christ as a mother. Having various activities such as Bible studies, prayers, and lectures, the Vice President Mothers Union and Women's Guild of the Archdeaconry, Mrs. Joy Indume, in her address, congratulated the women for this year's conference, charging them on the need to know God as a Christian mother. Highlighting some of the challenges faced around the world today, Mrs. Joy Indume said all women should go back and meditate on the theme, Knowing Christ, the Goal of a Christian Woman.
Able to keep that which I have committed unto him against that day. This is the blessing of knowing him. This day we wish to ask you again, do you know him? Do you know Jesus Christ as your personal Savior? Then if you do know him, do you have a desire to really know him in a close, intimate way? This is what we have considered in this conference today.
In their separate remarks, Vicar of the Church, Venerable Benjamin Idume, Chairman of the conference, Dr. Peter Madu, and others congratulated the women, commending them for their activeness and willingness in serving God, saying the theme is apt.
We cannot go too far in life if we have a shallow knowledge of God. The great truth is that a firm knowledge of God, a good knowledge of God, a deep knowledge of God, a proper knowledge of God will make us better Christians and better citizens of our country.
To the church, it was so insightful, well thought out, and for times like this, where like Paul mentioned to the Corinthian church, we are like hard pressed on every side, but by knowing God, the people will not be perplexed, they will not be suppressed.
I know that if not for his mercies, this meeting would have been held. You know what happened to our vicar and the archdeacon of our archdeacon. But God showed us mercy, and today we are happy. I'm so happy. I don't even know how to express my gratitude to Almighty God for making this day come to pass. The theme says, Knowing Christ, a goal of a Christian woman. In times like this, in fact, anyone that doesn't know God deeply is in trouble.
The theme, Knowing Christ, the goal of a Christian woman, is indeed apt, succinct and germane, because all our hope, all our dreams, all our strength, all our energy is anchored on the solid rock, Jesus Christ. And without him, we cannot do much.
I am Caroline Achumbe, reporting for Acnn News.
Thank you, Caroline. And now the subdean of the Cathedral Church of the Advent in Life Camp, Gwarimpa, Abuja, the Venerable Ife Makaya, has advised all Nigerians who are eligible to vote to put in more effort in making sure they get their permanent voters card, saying having PVC is imperative now that the 2023 election is drawing closer. He gave this advice in an interview with Acnn News correspondent Caroline Achumbe, urging them not just to get the PVC, but also to get ready to vote.
They should work harder. Having PVC now is an imperative. It's compulsory. Let me just put it like that. It's a thing that we must do. It is possible some people are getting them discouraged or discouraging them, but they should put more effort to see. People are getting their PVCs. It may not be that easy, but I want to say that if they are determined to have it, they will. You understand? They only need to spend more hours waiting or put more effort. Provided their minds are made up that they want to have it, for sure they will get it. This time around is not a time to gamble. It's not a time to procrastinate. It's not a time to begin to put things. I mean, this laissez-faire thing shouldn't come up this time around. We have suffered enough now. After every suffering, they said weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. We should take our destiny by our hands by praying and asking God to swing into action in helping us. But if we have to ask God to help us, we have responsibility. There's what we call divine action. We also have human responsibility. Getting PVC is not even enough. When you have it, that person should go and vote. The person should go and cast his vote for a credible person.
You've been watching news on the hour, and still to come, women's ordination resume in Bangladesh. That story and others will come your way after this short break. Please stay tuned.
Hello viewers, welcome to this week's episode on Health Watch on Advent Cable Network Nigeria. I am Angela Emeka Ebibu.
What we need as humans is to have a good spiritual life. It's more important than having an abundance of possessions without a healthy spirit.
We have issues that relate to sexual affairs. There is something called consent. If a person says no, that means she or he hasn't given their consent.
My mother delivered children on her own. A baby that is too big, how do you want it to come out without having issues?
Your faith does not negate you going for a medical check or engaging in a medical therapy. It doesn't.
The patient has his own rights, and this right has to do with the right patient, the right drug, the right dose, the right duration, you understand? Even the right time in how it is given.
Welcome back, and for more on our top stories, please visit our website at acnntv.com or our social media platforms on facebook.com or youtube.com/acnntv. To be up to date with our news and other programs, download the Avo TV app from Google Play Store. You can also advertise your goods and services on ACNN TV. And on the foreign scene, after a 15-year halt, the Church of Bangladesh Anglican Communion has resumed ordaining women clergy. The Diocese of Barishaw ordained 5 deacons, including 2 women vocational deacons at Christ the King Church, Kalispur, Kuna, on 12 December 2021. A statement released by the Church of Bangladesh stated, and I quote, "We rejoice with all fellow believers that after 15 years of interval, as the Church of Bangladesh has resumed women's ordination with Barishaw Diocese has played a prominent role in this." End of quote. The statement also added that Barishaw, being a new diocese, they have ensured inclusiveness in all areas of ministry and are thankful to the respectable moderator of the Church of Bangladesh, the Most Reverend Samuel Mankin, for this historic decision, being the first to have ordained 2 women ministers during their deacon ordination in 1996 at the same church under Dhaka Diocese. According to reports, Bangladesh said 15-year gap in ordination to the diaconate for women arose due to the personal views of the moderator of the church, but remained permissible under the church's canons, as the Church of Bangladesh's new moderator has revised the policy in line with his views. An Anglican priest in the UK, the Reverend Jonathan Acnn, has warned that religious freedom in Hong Kong is facing dangerous threats from the Chinese Communist Party as Chinese President Xi Jinping marked the 25th anniversary of the city's handover from Britain to China. The former cabinet minister and member of parliament in the UK, during a speech at the National Club in London, said that the skies are darkening for religious freedom in Hong Kong. 79-year-old cleric said there are increasingly ominous signs that religious freedom in Hong Kong is next on the hit list by the destructive forces of the Xi regime. Hong Kong's national security law, which was imposed by the communist regime 2 years ago, can leave fundamental freedoms almost completely dismantled, Acnn said. The Catholic Bishop of India's Udaipur city, Bishop John Ganawa, has appealed for peace as authorities impose a curfew and block access to the internet following violent protests that broke out after 2 Muslim men murdered a tailor and posted a video of the killing on social media. The Muslim radicals attempted to behead the Hindu tailor for supporting a politician from the country's ruling nationalist Bharatiya Janata Party who had spoken against the Islamic prophet Muhammad on television. The victim, identified as 48-year-old Kanaya Lal, was a tailor under Udaipur city in the western Rajasthan state. According to a report by India's NDTV, the accused, identified as Mohammed and Riaz, entered Lal's shop and slit his throat with a cleaver, adding that they attempted to behead him but couldn't. The two filmed the murder and posted it online, where it went viral. They also threatened to attack India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. A UK online report added that in response to the comments made by the former Bharatiya Janata Party politician about the Islamic prophet, both the Islamic State and Al-Qaeda terror groups have threatened to launch attacks in India. The victim, Lau, had posted statements in support of the former Nupur Sharma, who had provocatively spoken against the Islamic prophet last month, leading to widespread criticism in India and Muslim-majority countries. The murder also led to violent protests in India and vandalism of public properties. And on entertainment, a Christian Media Publishing and Distribution Division of the Southern Baptist Convention, Lifeway, has produced a vacation Bible school soundtrack called Spark Studios, and the music has reportedly reached the #1 spot on Apple Music's Top 100 Children's Music Albums chart in recent weeks, while the album is now at #9 on the iTop chart for children's music albums. It reached the top spot during the Southern Baptist Convention's annual meeting in California in May-June, announced Lifeway, which, though self-funded, is the Southern Baptist Convention's publishing and distribution division based in Nashville, Tennessee. Lifeway said the album also reached the 63rd spot on the overall Apple Music Top 100 chart for all genres. According to Lifeway's VBS and Kids Ministry specialist, Melita Thomas, the album's popularity proves that Vacation Bible School is returning in full force across the country after a gap of 2 years due to the pandemic. To end the news now, let's look at the recap of the major stories. The Church of Nigeria announces the election of an archbishop, translation of bishops, and election of new bishops. The Diocese of Elisha, Church of Nigeria, holds her Mothers Union mid-year Thanksgiving for the year 2022. Plus, the Mothers Union and Women's Guild of the Asokoro Archdeaconry in Abuja Diocese holds her 11th annual Women's Conference at St. James Anglican Church, Asokoro, with the theme, Knowing Christ, the Goal of a Christian Woman. That's all we have for you on News on the Hour for today. Thanks for watching. I am Charles Philip Wakolam saying, have a blissful week.